Hello everybody, my name is Richard, that's Tom, this is Terrifying Tom, and this week we are discussing 1989 film, Megan, 1989. No, sorry, scratch that. Child's Play. Roll the intro. Yes, hello once again everyone. Hello to you, Tom.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you very much.
Yeah. So as I said, we're discussing the 1989 film Child's Play. The Megan for Generation X. Did you notice a theme with the two films that I'm choosing here?
Yeah, slightly. Yeah. I mean, since Megan was heavily inspired by Child's Play, then yeah.
I thought it was only right, and when I saw that you actually owned the DVD as well, and we could watch it for free, I thought that makes
the Blu-ray.
Sense. The Blu-ray.
Yes.
I thought it makes perfect sense to do these two films back to back. One is very heavily inspired by the other. So I thought, yeah, let's discuss them. Let's see how well they stack up. But first, about Child's Play. A story in which a single mother gives her son a much sought-after doll for his birthday, only to later discover that it is possessed by the soul of a serial killer. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my goodness.
So a slightly different premise, but same aspect. A toy ends up going on a murderous rampage.
Yeah.
It's directed by Spider-Man.
Yeah, directed by Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yeah, wow.
Pretty impressive considering he wasn't even born.
How did he do that? That's incredible.
He was born, I looked this up before I came out, he was born in the 1st of June, 1996.
Wow. So like 7 years before he was born.
Revolutionary.
He made his directorial debut. This is why he knew he was always going to get into show business.
I would love if he actually appeared in a Child's Play film one day just for the joke.
Do you think that people would get it? I mean, we would now, obviously, because we're nerds.
We would get it,
but yeah, I mean, people would just be like, "Why is he in it?"
I don't know if he's ever been in anything like that.
I don't think he's been in like a horror film or anything.
I don't think I've seen anything other than Spider-Man.
The closest film that he's been in to something like that is more sci-fi-y. It's the one where he's in with Daisy Ridley, so it's a really weird film. So like one of the premises is a really good idea, but they do two together
from Star Wars.
Yeah. They do two together. That's really weird. So first of all, there's a society of men. Like on a planet of men where women have just gone. There are no more women anymore.
So children of men.
Which is, it's an interesting premise. But then randomly they say, oh, and also these men can read people's thoughts.
What women want.
It's like, it's like, why would you do...
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen a Tom Holland film.
Daisy Ridley.
Spider-Man.
Daisy Ridley can read the men's thoughts.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
But it's like, why? Do one or the other. Why would you do both?
Anyway,
yeah. It's directed by Tom Holland. It stars Catherine Hicks, Chris Sarandon, and Alex Vincent.
And Brad Dourif.
Oh.
Of course.
Who could forget Brad Dourif?
The actual Chucky himself.
Apparently he's not high enough.
Because he only appears as himself in the first
Did I just
scene.
pronounce it Sarandon as well?
Maybe.
Chris Sarandon.
Sarandon, yeah.
Sarandon, yeah.
Maybe it is pronounced Sarandon, you don't know.
Sarandon.
That sounds much cooler than Sarandon, anyway.
Is he related?
Let's go with that.
Because I said this. I said he looks a bit like Tim Robbins. And I was like, is he Susan Sarandon's son? But then I was like, nah, because he'd be way too old at this point in 89 for Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon's son. Nah, he'd be way too old. I
don't know, mate.
Maybe he's a cousin.
Might be a brother.
But then why would he look like Tim Robbins?
Might be a Baldwin, Baldwin situation. It might be a Baldwin brother.
But then why would he look like Tim Robbins? But anyway, sorry. So, apparently Chucky himself is not high enough to get a cast in. Anyway, onto the film. So, we open the film on a dark Chicago. Not New York.
Not New York.
Not New York. Chicago. On a dark Chicago night.
Yeah.
gunfire.
Straight into the action.
Straight into the action, where Charles himself is being chased down by Chris Sarandon. His character, I don't know his character's name. He's going to be Chris Sarandon.
Mike Norris.
Mike Hunt. No, he's now Mike Sarandon. Okay, that's his new character's name.
Just call him Sarandon.
Sarandon.
If you really want to.
From the depths of Mordor. Yeah, he's chasing him. He's obviously in a shootout with the police, although we don't necessarily know that just yet. Until he shouts, Sarandon shouts, "Give it up, it's over. You got nowhere to run."
Yeah.
And he gets winged, and he's like, he's running for the van, and his accomplice sees, oh shit, he's gonna get caught, and his accomplice peels out of there in the getaway vehicle, leaving him all on his own.
Yep.
He runs towards a toy shop, or just a shop. He doesn't necessarily know it's a toy shop, but he runs to a shop, breaks in to try and get away from Sarandon.
I know we'll bring up Terminator later, but this is very reminiscent of the first scene from that.
Yeah, with the where's the department store, isn't it? Yeah,
sort of.
I always thought of it as like British Home Stores kind of thing.
Yeah. They're totally in that kind of place, isn't it?
But
this is like Gamley's, is it?
Gamley's, yeah. Oh no, Hamley's. Hamley's is the one in London. Gamley's is the one that used to be on the corner in town, where that cash and carry is now.
Right, so he breaks into a Hamley's.
Yeah, breaks into a Hamley's.
Breaks into a Toys R Us.
Not a British Home Stores. Oh, Toys R Us. I mean, it basically is a Toys R Us.
More a Hamley's.
You know, there's millions, says Jeffrey, all under one roof. It's called Child's Play. No, wait, what's the show called?
So what?
Good friends, good guys?
Good guys.
Good guys,
It's a Good Guy doll, wasn't it?
Good Guy doll, yeah. The Good Guys. Sounds like some crap that I made up when I was a kid.
Some sort of film. You can make a buddy cop movie.
Anyway, yeah, he breaks into this Toys R Us. Toys are them. There you go. Them can't get sued. And the shootout continues in there. And he gets hit in the gut. Oh, and he's bleeding out. And he's dying. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get all of you. He swears vengeance on Sarandon and Getaway Driver. I can't remember his name. They do say it.
Yeah. Hold on. I did write it down. Eddie Caputo.
Eddie Caputo. That's a very mafia sounding name, isn't
it?
Yeah. So Sarandon and Eddie Caputo have a jihad put on them. And he with no explanation, bearing in mind we've just been dropped into this film, grabs the doll of one of the good guys and starts demonically chanting at it, which brings on thunder and lightning, blows up the shop to complete smithereens, but also transfers his soul into this doll as his body lay dying.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet. But we don't know anything yet. Literally, we've just been dropped into this scene where these two guys are shooting at each other.
Obviously, we know that now. If you're watching the film at the time,
I mean,
I guess you would have known it from the advertising.
You would have known from the advertising, right? You would have gone to see that film with the killer doll, and then you would have been like, I wonder what he's doing here. This is really weird, isn't it? Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, okay. If it gets to the big scene, there's the reveal later on, and you're like, "Oh my god, I didn't see that coming!" And okay.
But it's just really weird. So it's literally just like we've been dropped into this film, and already we've been given the evidence that A, God exists, B, the soul exists, and C, there's an afterlife. Oh, and also you can reincarnate yourself as anything you want. Oh, voodoo's real as well, but we don't learn that until later on. This is the demonic chanting that he's doing. So, yeah.
It's a film, Richard.
Okay, so why are we even here? This is a film. It's a good film. Go check it out. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you again next time. Yeah, come on, man. We're here to pick this crap apart, man. This is what we're here for.
I like the voodoo element to the film. Right?
Yeah, I'm not having a problem
cool,
with
right?
it. I just find it funny that we're not even 5 minutes in, and yet it was like, yeah, by the way, God's real, soul's real, and there's voodoo, and you can also possess things.
Yeah, I don't know about the God stuff, but the voodoo stuff, yeah.
Well, there has to be some sort of voodoo god, right? I mean, otherwise,
Demoned.
Okay, so a demon exists, but God doesn't.
I don't know. I don't make the rules here.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, yeah, this random. The Sarandon sees that he survived the explosion,
every time, yeah.
and he sees this is my thing. Like, every episode, someone will have a funny name. Yeah,
I tell you what, it made his character a lot more interesting.
Oh God,
if he was just called Sarandon.
Sarandon, he's boring in this film.
Yeah,
he is so dull,
very vanilla, terrible
actor.
Terrible actor, yeah.
Terrible actor. What do you want from me? Like, what's your problem? Like, yeah, she's dead. What? All right, I'm going home. Listen to me. You're in danger. You need to leave now.
Some Hayden Christensen level acting there.
Although, even he made me believe that he hated sand. Anyway, yeah, Sarandon survives the explosion. Sees his dead body and's like, job done. And then we cut to, it's the TV show first, isn't it? The Good Guys TV show we cut to, we see, with the he doesn't have a name, is he? He's just a good guy doll, or is he?
I think they're all called good guy dolls, don't they? But
yeah, they don't really have a name.
I think they all have individual names.
But I don't know the doll's individual name.
I don't. Yeah, Chucky's not specifically.
He's called Chucky because the guy in the doll is called Charles, isn't he? That's why. Yeah.
I'm guessing they're all web generated names or something. I don't know.
They must have names. But anyway, you see his character on the screen doing all the "Hey, we're good friends" and stuff.
Terrifying.
Like it's, I don't know, man. It's very Care Bears-esque. It reminded me very much of Care Bears.
I mean, of which one's the bear from Rainbow?
Bungle.
No. Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be scared of him when I was a kid.
Zippy.
Very weird. No, I used to love Zippy and George.
But he's the weirdest looking. I mean, George is a hippo, so that's fine. Bungle's a bear.
Yeah,
but
really
what the hell is Zippy?
Looking. So he's a.
But what the hell is he?
What is he? That's a good question.
He's an alien, surely. He must be an alien.
Maybe.
Or someone's weird.
Sit for a mouth though. Cool.
Someone's weird, sick taxidermy experiment that went wrong.
Again, apologies to all the American viewers who.
I'm sure they know what a rainbow is.
Do they know what a rainbow is?
Yeah, they must know.
They've probably seen that YouTube clip of them saying dirty shit. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah,
it's not actually dirty though, is it? It's just
it's like implied
innuendo, isn't it?
Yeah, innuendos and stuff.
Innuendo. But yeah, they must have seen Rainbow. Come on, anyway, yeah. He's on the screen, and we see this kid dressed up in the pajamas. He loves this show. Andy
Barkley.
Why are all the kids in Toys films called Andy?
What, Andy from Toy Story?
Toy Story. This one.
I don't know.
There must be more.
Probably. It's a coincidence, mate.
Have you ever met an Andy?
Yeah, I used to be in school with an Andy. Yeah. Andrew.
Oh yeah, Andrew. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one ever called themselves Andy. Anyway, yeah, he loves this show. He is obsessed with it. He eats the cereal. He has the pajamas, which come with their own shoes for some reason. We'll get into that later. But yeah, he is obsessed with this show. And it's his birthday. But he's making his mum breakfast in bed on his birthday.
Very sweet.
It's very nice, but just
makes a bit of a mess of it.
Yeah, I mean, kids aren't great at kitchen stuff, are they? We had this discussion while we were watching the film. I remember making my mum breakfast in bed with cold coffee because we're not allowed to use the kettle. A bread. It wasn't even toast because we weren't allowed to use the toaster, and a Mars bar.
Yeah, so we get burnt toast, some whipped cream,
A shit ton of milk in
load
the
of
cereal.
milk in the cereal.
Orange juice was there?
Orange juice, which gets spilled all
All
over
over.
the carpet when he's walking towards his mum room.
Carrying the tray. Because this kid's like 5.
But screw it, it's a kid. It's cute as fuck. So.
Yeah, it is cute. It's very nice. And if my child made breakfast in bed for me on their birthday, I think I would cry out of depression and be like, why are you so damn sweet? Seriously, man up. And then I'd hit him. But yeah, find out the mum's obviously a single mum, trying hard to raise her kid as a good man. She's doing a good job. She's making her breakfast in bed, so, you know.
So, would you say this is the sweetest child actor you've seen in a film? It's tough off the top of my head. The other one I was
Kid
thinking
from
of...
Jerry Maguire is pretty cute.
Oh, annoying.
No?
The other one I was thinking of was Newt from Aliens.
Nah, she annoys me. Mostly. She's creepy as well.
I mean, spoiler alert, I remember being annoyed at the start of Alien 3 when they said, oh, she's dead. Great. So we watched the whole of Aliens for nothing. Brilliant. Fantastic.
You're assuming that Aliens 3 is in the IMDb list. Why would we be necessarily watching it? Or are you just doing a general spoiler for people watching Alien 3?
Yeah, if you haven't seen Alien 3. But Alien 3's been out for 30 years and it's terrible, so... Well, it's average. You have no reason to watch it.
You get a dog alien,
It's a
which
dog
is
alien,
pretty
it's
cool.
Yeah, but...
Like a different type of xenomorph.
There's a lot of English people in it.
I don't really... Is that the one with all the monks?
Yeah, it's all the...
Yeah.
She's the only guy... she's the only... Ripley's the only
on the
woman.
planet,
Yeah, they're all blokes.
Yeah, I
and they're
remember.
mostly British.
Anyway, yeah. So he's given his birthday present, and of course, it's not what he wants.
No.
Clothes. Who gives a kid of that age clothes on their birthday?
It's the Lee Carvello's putting challenge of this film.
I think he would even prefer Lee Carvello's putting challenge over clothes.
Yeah.
As
As
least
a kid.
you can do like
Yeah.
overdrive, you know, like
Yep, all kids can relate to getting clothes at Christmas and be like,
clothes at Christmas for a kid or for your birthday is obviously dull and boring.
Yeah.
But at least they're not your main present. You get clothes and that as well as something else. Yeah. He was just given clothes. That was his only present. And I think, because we find out she works in British Home Stores, she probably got them from work as well.
Yeah, bound to have got a discount on that as well.
Yeah, because we find out that she works on a perfume counter in British Home Stores. In Chicago, not New York.
Debenhams or some shit.
Oh, yeah, they're shut now as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Any defunct department store. Department stores are a thing of the past. Yeah. But yeah, so the kid's pretty depressed and he's like, I really want the doll, because he sees the doll on the advert and he's like, cool! Because when the coolest thing ever is when a doll actually talks, you know you're in the 80s or 90s. Yeah, anyway, the mum goes to work for the first time that day, which is weird. So she's like I said, she's obviously trying to, support herself and her kid in this massive apartment. I'm guessing that maybe that's the one she had with her husband. Is there some sentimental, which doesn't want to move out, which we'll touch upon in a minute as well.
Was it ever explained?
No.
Why the husband is not there?
He just died.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a widower. Because, you can't have a sympathetic divorcee in this film. A widower, that's fine. And it's okay that she moves on and she finds love at the end. That's all right, because...
Does she?
Sarandon, man. Come on. You don't think those two are going to bang after this?
Well,
Come
probably.
on.
Well, it's never really implied.
It is.
Well,
it's heavily implied.
Yeah, it is.
For all the sexual tension on screen, the raw animal magnetism that we see on screen.
Yeah, he's a pretty exciting individual.
You come on, you want Sarandon. Yeah, so she goes to work and her friend comes running in. He's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. There's a crackhead in the alley who's selling the toy
Gotta
you
get
want.
this deal.
Karen, Hi. You know that doll that you wanted for Andy? Well, it costs $100.
Yeah, the good guy doll.
There's a peddler in the alley behind the store, and I think he's got one.
What? What would a peddler be doing with the doll?
Who cares? Would you grab your purse and come on? We can get a deal on it.
But I can't just leave my counter.
Do you want the damn doll or don't you?
Of course I do.
Well, then come on.
Come on. All right.
There he is. Okay, show her. Well, is it a good guy or not?
It is. It is.
Yeah, well, I told you.
Oh, how much do you want for it?
$50.
10 and not a penny more.
30.
What are you kidding? That thing is not worth $30.
Look, take it or leave it. Somebody else will buy it.
I'll take it.
Karen, it's too much money.
No, it isn't. You have no idea how much Andy wants this doll.
But we don't even know if the damn thing works.
There you go, lady. May it bring you and your kid a lot of joy.
Thank you.
Hey, hold on, you! How do we know the damn thing isn't stolen, huh?
Steal this.
Yeah, steal this yourself.
So she leaves her counter. She runs into the alley to this guy who's clearly addicted to meth, or crack, or both, because he has no teeth, and buys this good guy's doll. You know, RRP, $999 for you today.
Yeah.
50. What? That's ridiculous. I'm not paying 50. I'll give you 30. What are you doing? Are you having a laugh, mate? This is proper good guys talking doll. He says all the kinds of shit. He's like, yeah, good job and stuff. Come on, man. You can want this. And she's like, 30, take it or leave it. And he's like, screw you, bitch. And she buys the good guy doll. But she doesn't even know if it works, which her friend says, like, you know, I'm not paying you 50. We don't even know if this works, you know. He's like, of course it works. We're talking about it. Shut up, bitch. And she buys the doll. And, yeah, she thinks all's good. All's well. Good. She returns back to her counter and we see the boss man have a go at her in a scene that's really not that important because it never comes up again. It's never seen again. It is never...
Well, it's important to the plot, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, the boss is a douche, isn't he?
Yeah, but...
And he's like, oh, you can't have the night off.
Oh, is that why she's working again tonight?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, the boss is like, you know, she's like, oh, it's my kid's birthday. And he goes, oh, do you like your job? You know, something along those lines.
Missed this whole scene.
He basically forces her to work. But as you mentioned when we were watching it, why can't her friend Maggie work the shift instead of her? Unless he's really just being a douche about it. It's like, oh, that has to be her.
Because she went and gave a crack addict a handy in the alley.
No, because because he's just being a dick.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, so it is important.
So
my apologies.
Yeah,
I didn't hear any of this. I must have been having a seizure at the time or something. I don't know. I was just getting over the fact that they're like, wow, this they really just bought this from a crack addict in the alley. Okay, fair enough. You know.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was it. It's because we were talking about New York and Chicago and New York in the 80s, and you were like, right. New York's a bad place, and I was like, in the 80s it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole New York Chicago conversation. That's why I didn't hear.
Gotcha.
Okay, so yeah, he. Okay, so Tom can fill you in a little bit more. He makes her work that night, which
leads to Maggie babysitting Andy.
Which also takes away my question where I was going to say, why does she have to work in the evening as well as during the day? Why does she have to work 2 shifts a day?
This place is open 24/7, aren't they? I don't know what time it closes.
I mean, what time do BHS close?
I don't know, but this is America. Anyway, they have different rules and shit, you know?
Yeah. But yeah. So, McGaggy is babysitting
Maggie,
Andy. And some story comes on the news about Al Capone, Fat Tony. What was his name again?
Oh, Eddie Caputo.
Eddie Caputo. There we go. Yeah. So, a news story comes on about how he's escaped from prison and he's on the run, and the Chucky's like just watching. And
of course, the doll is like
just watching the TV. No movements or anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet. We just you know, ominously zoom in on the doll's face.
Yeah.
And then McGaggy comes over and is like, "Oh, it's time for bed," and Andy's like, Chucky wants to know if we can watch the 9 o'clock news.
Yeah. I mean, any kid can relate. They don't want to go to bed,
Yeah. But, yeah. And McGaggy's like, of course you did, yeah. Silly kid. No, it's time for bed. Come on. So she puts him to bed. And then they're saying their goodnights and everything's fine. And then she's in the living room reading. I think she's reading, right?
I think so. Watching the TV,
and we get a little camera view of like the bedroom door opening, and coming down the hallway, and like
somebody running,
little pitter patter of feet down the hallway, and she's like, "Oh, what was that? Oh my god!" And she freaks out, and then she's like, "Oh, it must have been nothing. It's fine." And then she hears the front door go, because pulls the chair out. All that without any noise, but then the front door can't do that without noise. She hears the front door and she's like, "Andy!" Like, what are you doing? Go to the front door and stuff. And then she like sorts the chair out, and then did she go check on Andy? And he's still there.
He was brushing his teeth, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's like,
"Oh no," because Chucky comes back in and turns the telly off. Turns the telly back on.
Yeah, and he's sitting there watching it.
Yeah, while he's brushing his teeth. So that scene comes before the one I'm describing now, sorry. So the TV turns back on while Andy's supposed to be brushing his teeth, and the Chucky doll is sat there watching the news about Fat Tony.
Yep.
And yeah, that scene comes before the one I'm describing. My apologies. And then we get the scene where the doll gets up and is trying to get out of the apartment, basically.
Well, supposedly, we don't know this at this point.
I think it's safe to assume, though, when the TV turns back on and the Chucky doll's sitting.
Yeah, obviously. Okay.
And bearing in mind that right at the beginning of this film as well, we also had the weird, crazy voodoo shit. So we know that something's wrong with a doll. Yeah.
So obviously they're doing the slow build, which I think is I like a lot from this film. That they
yeah, it's. I mean, it's slow, but it's not that slow. I mean,
you don't immediately see him come to life.
Yeah. No, it's not straight away. So she goes to the door and she can't find anything. She looks behind the umbrella stand, and because it was like rattling and stuff, she can't find anything. She's like, "Oh, I'm just freaking myself out." And then the phone rings. She's like, "Oh," like that.
Hello?
Hi, how's it going? How's Andy?
Sharon?
Yeah. Who else would it be? Is something wrong?
No. Everything's fine. What is wrong with me? I'm scaring myself half to death.
And then she's like, "What's going on?" She's like, Nothing. It's all good. Everything's fine. It's the mum calling to check, by the way, from work. And she's just like, "I'm just freaking myself out. I've got those alone jitters, when you're alone." Yeah, we all have them.
Yeah.
You hear something and you're like, 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't even pay attention to it. But when you're on your own, it's like, "Oh my God, what was that? It's a murderer. They come to kill me." Yeah. The doll's alive and the toaster's been laughing at me, And then...
Is that the first reference to that episode?
Yeah, so far. Yeah, but
I think it was heavily inspired by this film.
With that one episode.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
You said this dog are evil. That's your problem.
Just switch back. It's fine. Yeah, there'll probably be lots of references in this episode, I'm sure. But yeah, she's talking on the phone and she's like, "It's fine, it's all fine." She hangs up the phone and then she's doing some stuff in the kitchen. I don't know exactly what she's doing.
Making herself some food or something.
Yeah, something like that. And then how does it come? Is he already on the counter? Or does something happen and then she
I can't remember.
But anyway, she screams, and you see a hand. You see a little hammer that
This is the one that Andy got for his birthday.
Andy got for his birthday in his little woodworking kit, where it sounds like he's hammering real nails into wood. It's proper metal on metal when he's working with it. And I'm
it's a pretty strong hammer as well.
Yeah, I mean, because whomever this may be, this tiny person,
Who knows?
who's wielding this tiny little hammer, manages to send Magagi flying like 8 feet across the room.
Yep.
Through a window as well. And then she plummets what seems like 900 stories.
Slow motion.
In slow... She's falling forever. And then slams into this car and destroys the car. So, yeah, it looks like she fell from much higher than like 5 stories or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she managed to fall through a window.
Fly 8 feet across the room and through the window. So... we don't know who this was, but you kind of... We know who it was, but in the film you're kind of led to believe that maybe it was Andy who's gone a bit psycho and he's attacked this. But again, this is a small child with a tiny hammer like this big. Even if it is hitting real nails, he ain't sending a fully grown person 8 feet across the room.
No.
But anyway, yeah. And then we cut to the mum coming home. There's this ambulance and police cars and massive crowd, and the police don't cross cordon. Thank you. Everywhere, and she just runs through. No one tries to stop her. No one. You don't even get we get it in a minute, but you don't even get the whoa, lady, you can't go in here. Crime scene. What you doing? It's like I live here. And like, okay, that's fine. Come on in.
Yeah.
I don't need to check or anything like that.
Identification either.
Yeah. We get that in a sec, but nothing. She just runs straight through this cordon, and everyone's just like, I wonder where she's going. Like that. Runs into a house, goes up all these flights of stairs, goes to her apartment, and then we get whoa, lady, what you doing? She's like, I live here. And he's like, okay, I believe you, no problem. She just runs straight in and sees all these police everywhere. And then Sarandon comes over and, whoa, lady, calm down. We need to discuss something. Acting. And he seems perfectly like blasé with everything. He really doesn't seem like he's that bothered by it. He's like, I was asleep and someone woke me up to bring me to this bullshit. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit. So I don't know, some bitch died. Who cares? I was having a really nice dream, where I was eating a sandwich. Those are the kind of dreams I imagine this man has. Like, it was a really good sandwich, and I had a really nice cup of hot chocolate.
You're questioning the acting chops of Sarandon?
No. Sarandon, no. Sarandon's amazing. Chris Sarandon, on the other hand. Yeah. But yeah, so we get explained that Magagi's dead. She went out the window, smashed this window to oblivion.
That shut that girl up, I tell you.
Yeah. We found like tiny little shoe prints on the counter in the flour or sugar or something, but tiny little footprints. Tiny footprints.
So they bother to check the shoes?
They checked the shoes of the boy. He did mention that, and he said, don't worry, there's not a match to any of them.
But they don't check Chucky's.
But they don't check Chucky's because obviously he's a doll, so why would you do that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But they also don't check the shoes that he's wearing as part of his pyjamas. Because I pointed this out. I was like, why is she putting him to bed with shoes on? Because they're part of this pyjama set. They're they come with the shoes. Because he asks him, he's like, where'd you get those shoes from, Andy? He's like, oh, they're good guy pajama, bedtime sneakers. And he's like, can I see the tread for
sneakers for sneaking?
For sneaking. And he checks the tread and he's like, well, what do you know about that, huh? They're a match, yeah. Because obviously they're based on the same shoes that Chucky's wearing. And then basically the mum turns around and says, look, I've had enough of your shit now. Everybody get out. And the police who are investigating the crime scene say, yeah, all right, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we've taken up too much of your time already. It's time for us to leave. GTFO.
This situation is a bit silly.
Yeah. So she stays in this house.
They stay at the apartment with the missing window. In wintertime.
It's got no window.
There's
in the
snow
middle
and
of
ice on the ground.
It's not blocked up or anything. They're just like, no, it's time for bed now, Andy. Andy goes to bed, turn off the light. I'm going to go to bed as well. And we'll just leave this window wide open. But it's all right because they're 500 stories up. So who's breaking in anyway, apart from Spider-Man? Oh, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
That's why. He's going to break in.
So this is a crime scene.
It's a crime scene. Yeah, that's the main thing. An unsolved crime scene that they need to go over with a fine-tooth comb, I'm sure. But it's just like, no, you're right.
Go to bed. Let the
they need to
go
to bed. Yeah, it's late. He's got school in the morning, which he does, by the way, which is another weird freaking thing. But yeah, they're just like, yeah, you're right. It's late. Yeah, we should go. Unless you want to, no, okay, yeah, we'll just.
The only one thing I would say is the police had stuck around. Maybe just let Andy go to bed and have the police stick around at least.
I am absolutely certain. That's a stretch. I'm absolutely certain that if that situation had occurred, they would say, well, no, you need to make alternative arrangements for this evening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Would they have taken the kid to the PlayStation?
I mean,
at this time of night,
I doubt it. But they definitely would have said, "Is there anyone you can stay with?"
Yeah.
If not, alternative arrangements will be made for you. You can't stay here.
You can stay with a crackhead, and he was nice to have to buy the doll. Get the
$50. No, let's stay with you. $50. No,
at least I can do.
Come on, this is a really nice box. You $50. Come on, don't be a bitch. Or yeah, just do it as it is. Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah. So
the police leave. Sarandon has bagged the murder weapon, the tiny little hammer.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking it with him, and we go to the next day.
We do.
The very next day.
It very quickly goes to, the next scene where Andy goes to
school. He's just been involved in a horrible tragedy where McGaggy's dead.
He possibly might be the murderer.
No, wait. Rewind just a little bit first.
What?
Because we need to talk about the scene where we first learn that Chucky is for sure haunted, possessed.
Well, Andy says Chucky told him what his name was. Which was Charles Lee Ray.
Yeah.
We don't know that's him possessed for sure.
But he also did say that McGaggy was a bitch and she deserved it.
Yeah.
Which at this point...
Yeah, totally.
You would, even if you don't think the doll is possessed, which again you wouldn't, you'd be like, what the fuck? Why did you...
Yeah, I know what you mean. We don't learn, we don't see it happen. We don't see anything yet.
We do, because...
You don't see the doll move or anything.
Don't we see his head turn to look at the door and see his mum's shadow still at the door?
Yeah.
So he just does the...
He does them.
The, I'm your best friend kind of thing.
Can't really be explained away, but yeah.
So he turns his head slowly, looks at the door, sees the mum's shadow is at the door, so she's listening on the other side.
Yeah.
Turns his head back and does the whole "there's a snake in my boot" thing. So, and the mum's like, oh, okay, that is the doll talking, but obviously he's not actually talking to him. But yeah, and then we cut to the next day with the school, and he's taking Chucky to school with him.
And he what's the American term for it? Hooky?
He bunks off. He's a dirty bunker.
Yeah.
Rotten little skiver he is.
He is.
He absconds from school, which I said to you during the film, how the hell does a kid this age get out of a school like that? Where are the teachers, like, watching to make sure all the kids coming into school?
This is this is late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, but even I had a teacher in the
times,
90s.
you know?
Even I had a teacher in the 90s that was like the supervisor for kids coming in.
Should I say it out loud or not? Americans, guns. We'll move on quickly.
Okay, moving on. So he gets a train, the L train. I'm assuming.
Some nice shots of Chicago here, and then
Chinatown.
Yeah.
And again, he's on the train with this doll. Not one person says to this kid, "Are you all right? Are you lost or are you okay?" They're just like, "Nah, kid riding the train with his doll. Yeah, perfectly normal. It's fine. It's Chicago, isn't it? Not New York." Although it probably would happen in New York as well.
It's a term for people just looking the other way and just, it's not my problem.
Which is a problem with the world. But anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean,
so he gets off the train in this really skeevy, skivey part of town. And he's like, listening to the doll and like giving him directions of where to go. And then he's like, gets outside the house and he's like, "Is that the house where Fat Tony lives?"
Eddie Caputo.
Yeah, well, whatever, same difference. He sits the doll on a chair and he's like, "I gotta go take a piss." I gotta take a leak. Tinkle.
Or whatever he calls it. Yeah, tinkle.
So he goes to have a little tinkle, and then
we see the camera. We see a camera rushing very fast into a house.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, we obviously know what it is.
We know what it is by this point. And yeah, someone is in Fat Tony's house, and Fat Tony hears it. He gets up with his gun, goes around trying to hunt for what's this noise, and then Chucky turns on the gas in the oven.
Yes.
In the kitchen. And destroys the house. I mean, he basically levels this house, right? Oh, the kid shows up outside first looking for Chucky, doesn't he?
Yeah, he goes into the kitchen and for some reason fires at the oven.
This show ain't no good.
Yeah, like what the heck?
But
I don't know.
The explosion seems very excessive. I mean, I've like been in a house where I've left the gas on or someone's left the gas on for ages to the point where you can smell it, and you're just like, "Oh, someone's left the gas on," and there has not still been an explosion. There hasn't even been a fireball. I mean, I can go and light another hob and it's absolutely fine. I mean, that's kind of like 3 days worth of gas build-up pretty much in that house.
Yeah, I mean, for the purposes of the film, we needed the
big
happen, explosion.
Yeah. But yeah, it just levels this house, knocks the kid on his ass.
Kills Eddie Caputo.
Kills Fat Tony, yeah. He's gone. So, vendetta against him. Check. One left. Sarandon must die. Then the mum turns up at the police station.
Andy gets
taken in by the police, obviously, because he's involved in a massive explosion.
Then he gets admitted to the psychiatric hospital.
Yeah.
Because now he's involved in 2 murders.
Yeah, he's been around while 2 people have died, so that's weird.
Reminiscent of Megan.
Yeah, 2 murders with around this child.
Yeah.
Although, what isn't one of them? No, it's after.
It's almost as if Megan was inspired by this film.
Almost in some way.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
That's crazy. Comes with a free Frogut.
Are we ready for the most memorable scene of the film?
What is?
Or have you got something to add?
What is the most memorable scene of the film?
So obviously Andy is now in the psychiatric hospital. He's not at home anymore.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Which leads to what's her name? Karen. Karen being at home alone with Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
So
because Andy's been saying it's the doll. The doll's talking. The doll did
obviously
it wasn't me. It was the butterfly. I tell you.
Obviously, she's his mother. She's going to be very protective of her own son.
Mama Bear.
She's going to want to believe this
that the doll was
even
real.
though it's completely ridiculous. She's going to want to believe it because he's her son.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, trying to get something out of Chucky, to prove that he is actually... There is actually somebody in there, not just a doll, So, and obviously she thinks it's all ridiculous. And she goes to the box, doesn't she? She goes to the box. The big good guy doll box.
And the question that everyone asks on Christmas morning is, are the batteries included?
Oh, the batteries included, yeah. She shakes the box up.
He wants you for a best friend. Yeah, sure.
And then what falls out?
Batteries included.
Batteries included.
Nice. All for $30 as well.
Which all could have been explained away. They had other batteries in the box.
I mean,
but
that's not like the doll already had batteries in it.
That's not what you're thinking at the time.
I mean, that's the first thing I said when we were watching the film was like, well, hang on a minute, it just took it out of the box and it works, didn't put the batteries in or anything.
Yeah, but it's the biggest... Oh my goodness.
Because obviously in the 80s, it was a big deal when the batteries were included.
There you go. Because now you know it's on. And
like Donkey Kong.
It's on like Donkey Kong. It's a very relevant reference for now, isn't it? Since
Super Mario
just came out.
Saw that.
It was good.
It's dumb fun. It's, stupid dumb fun.
Good.
Turn your brain off and don't pay attention to it. And it's a bit of a nostalgia kick. I did want to play Super Mario afterwards, I will admit. Yeah. Cool. Maybe want to play Mario Kart.
I prefer Donkey Kong.
Yeah, the game?
Yeah.
Mario Kart's cool, though.
Yeah, of course. I was more of a donkey.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, moving on. So the batteries come out of the box, and we've got the da-da-da moment. Oh, my God, it's on. She knows. She turns to the living room. Mm-hmm. Is Chucky sitting on the chair?
She just chucked him on the chair, didn't she?
Yeah, so she obviously goes...
Talk, you son of a bitch.
Over, and she lights the fire.
She checks the battery slot first, doesn't she? And sees that there are no batteries in it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. She checks it, and of course, da-da-da.
And then she's like, talk, you son of a bitch.
And then she lights the fire.
Yep. Talk, or I'm going to throw you into the fire.
And then we get the first Chucky.
Proper Chucky
appearance.
Yeah.
I said talk to me, damn it! All right. Then I'm going to make you talk. I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
None of this like funny camera angle, slight hints bullshit.
No, this is
confirmation.
We get confirmation that the doll is alive and it is Charles Lee Ray who's the killer. And is he stupid bitch?
You stupid dumb bitch!
You stupid slut or something.
You stupid dumb bitch! You ruined everything!
He starts grabbing at her and he falls under the sofa or something.
She throws him under the sofa.
Yeah. And then he runs away.
No, she goes back to get him from under the sofa, doesn't she? Because she does the slow looking.
Yeah.
And then pulls him out, and then like, did I just hallucinate all of that shit? Or,
and then he runs away.
Maybe I shouldn't have smoked that crack from that guy in the alley.
He runs away and goes down. Does he go down the escalator?
He goes in the lift.
He goes in the elevator, and she runs down the stairs.
She runs down the stairs,
and she doesn't catch him.
No.
I really like the whole elevator escalator setting of this film. we'll get into a scene a little bit later on.
Okay.
But it's old school, like, elevator, up and down.
With the chain door and everything. Yeah.
That's proper old school shit. As we'll get into a scene later as well that I thought was pretty good. But yeah, so
the doll is alive.
So we know now the doll is alive. Yeah,
it's possessed. It's done.
It's possessed.
Voodoo is fucking real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then she drives back to the police station, and she's like, "It's real." Oh no, he bit her as well, didn't he? Because she's got the bite mark, hasn't she? Yeah, I forgot about that.
And she just goes straight to the police next? I imagine she does, yeah.
She goes straight to the police station.
Sarandon.
And then to Sarandon, who's just coming out of the police station.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's real, I tell you, it's real. The doll's alive. And the toaster's been laughing at me."
Yeah, look, he bit me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how am I supposed to know that the doll did that?
Yeah, have you got the doll?
Got evidence of that? You got
proof,
it on
video,
film?
yeah, CCTV? Did you get your camera on your phone out?
What the fuck?
It,
Come on, man.
Like, everyone's got a camera on their phone these days. Come on, I mean...
Yeah, in the late 80s, right? Surely.
Don't even think they had mobiles at that point, did they?
They had mobile phones.
Yeah, but not the general public. Thing. It was a very rich thing,
the Wall Street type of people.
Yeah, 10 years from now, they'll be 3 times as large, and only the 10 richest kings will be able to afford one,
Yeah.
How many Simpsons quotes can we squeeze into this episode?
I don't know, quite a lot. So yeah, she goes to Sarandon, and he's dismissive of this. Of course it would be, because it's ridiculous. And I think this is the point when she goes to find the crackhead homeless guy again.
Yeah,
that's what I got written down.
But before that, we get the line from him, like, what was it? What's his name? Charles
E. Ray.
Charles E. Ray, and it's like how do you not know about Charles E. Ray? How have you not heard about this guy, or something like that? Because we were taking the piss out of it, weren't we?
Yeah. Does she say does she say to him at this point? His name is Charles E. Ray. That's what Andy said, right?
Maybe.
Does she say to him at this point? This is the start of him piquing his interest.
Yeah, it piques his interest. But he's very much like a...
how do you know that name?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I haven't
or
written
something
down.
like that. I can't remember what it was, but we were taking the piss out of it because it was basically like, he was like, "You stupid dumb bitch," or something like that. Like, how do you not know this name or something? I can't remember. So we'll move on from this, but I should have made a note of that because it was really funny. It entertained us for the rest of the film. So, but yeah, this is where she goes to find the crackhead again because she wants to find out where he bought the doll from.
Yeah. And the crackhead is as accommodating as you would think he would be.
Yeah, he was very friendly. He was very helpful and forward. He was trying to answer her questions to the best of his abilities. And then this just, she was like, maybe I could find another way to pay my rent this month.
No, there's just
and then he's like, "Look, this isn't necessary. You don't need to. I'm happy to cooperate." And she's like, "No, I insist." And then the policeman, Sarandon, completely misreads. He misreads the situation.
It's none of his business.
He's none of his business. He comes in and cock blocks him, and I feel sorry for crackhead man.
He denied her the money that she could have got from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so none of that happened.
Yeah, no, he's not a very nice man.
No, he attempts to rape her, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then that's when Sarandon comes.
Sarandon saves her.
Yeah.
Because he's now a stalker, I guess, who's following her.
It's good. He told her not to go to that part of the
right.
Didn't he? He's like, that's dangerous at this part of night, don't go. So that's why he's like, oh, stupid bitch, I've got to go save her.
But this is a point where I think that we get the explanation about who Charles E. Ray is from him.
Yeah, because she says he got it from this old toy store.
Yeah, because he interrogates the
homeless
crackhead.
Man, yeah.
And he says he got the doll from the toy store.
From the Toys R Them.
And he's like, oh my God. You get with his great acting. And then he gets an explanation of who Charles E. Ray is, and he dies.
No, that's it. I remember what it is now. He's like, I'm the guy that killed Charles Lee Ray. Remember? That's basically
the guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy that killed him.
I don't know. I guess.
How did you not know this?
Charles Lee Ray not big news in Chicago?
No, because
Probably, I don't know.
no, because what it was is he tells them the story, like this I killed him and it blew up and stuff like that.
Right.
And she's like, "How do you know all this?" And he's like, "Because I'm the guy that killed him." And then she's like, "Why didn't you tell me this from the start?" That was it. And he's like, "Well, why the fuck would he?" You know, it's like you're just this random woman that like. You know, it's
Yeah, they're not
like
dating,
introduces himself like, "Oh, well, calm down. There's been a murder. By the way, I'm Sarandon. I killed Charles Lee Ray." That was it, you know, like, does he go into every
they're not
situation?
dating or anything like
That
that,
was
you
it.
know,
That
it's
was what it was. I remember now.
Place where he said he got the doll. Charles Lee Ray died there.
Who?
The Lakeshore Strangler, the man who's partners with Eddie Caputo. Oh, hey, where are you going now?
Wabash and Van Buren.
There's nothing there. It's an abandoned wreck of a store. Well, why don't you believe me? It was struck by lightning the night that Charles Lee Ray died.
How do you know that?
Because I was there. I was the man who killed him.
Why didn't you tell me?
It's not exactly the kind of thing you tell someone. Come on, let me take you home.
And he's like, yeah, walking in like, yeah, I'll have a grande coffee, black. What's the name? Oh, Sarandon killed Charles Lee Ray. You don't know that? Yeah, because you read it.
Yeah, a coffee for Sarandon who killed Charles Lee Ray.
Yeah, that's me. Hi.
That's me. I went
Killed Charles Lee Ray. Everyone, yeah. It's like, why would he tell you that? I remember that was what it was. She was like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, well, why the fuck would I?
I mean, did she say his name before? Is that why she's saying
this is the first time it's come
mentioned?
up. Yeah, that's it. And she's like, you know, that was why it was so funny to me, because he was like, "Because I'm the guy that killed him," and she's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" It's like, because I don't advertise all my shit to everyone. Why would I have to?
Yeah,
that was it. I remember now. Yeah, Sarandon, guy that killed Charles Lee Ray. But yeah, that's when he tells her all the story about it, yeah, and we find out like the thing blew up. And then she's like, "Well, why? You can at least look into it, just at least." And he's like, "Look, I don't have time for this shit. All right, I just go home. I don't want to."
Yeah.
And then he goes back to the police station.
He drives back. Yes.
No, this comes afterwards. He goes back to the police station first and starts looking. No, he does. Yeah, wait, is it or after? There is a sequence of events. I can't quite remember in which order it is, but he goes to the police station to look at the files of Charles Lee Ray again. But and then at one scene he's driving. Now I don't know if this is after he's gone to the police station or he's driving back to the police station. But then yes, he has he has a slight run-in
in the car.
Yes,
by Chucky.
Yeah, which is quite a good, funny
with
scene.
a knife. Yeah,
yeah, like lots of missed calls with the knife and stuff. Like he starts strangling him first, doesn't he? Like garroting him first. It's like
yeah,
and then we get the scene where the car's just going crazy, out of control, and everything like that. And my question was, why doesn't he just stop the car?
Yeah.
Because
doesn't he do that eventually though? He does break.
It crashes, doesn't it?
Right, okay.
Before Chucky starts holding down the accelerator to make it crash, he has plenty of time to just like stop the car.
Yeah.
Like, and then even when Chucky's like pressing down the accelerator, turn the car off. And then the accelerator doesn't do anything, and eventually inertia will bring it to
Also, do you feel that Chucky probably could have gone about this a little bit differently in terms of trying to murder him, rather than strangling him in the car? Surely there was a
wait till he was asleep.
There was a more discreet way of doing it. I don't know. You could have followed him home in the car, or I don't know.
Wait till he was asleep, and then just
I don't know. If for the purposes of the film, it needs to be
obviously, because this is the confirmation he needs. That oh my god, the doll is alive.
You are a known criminal, and you are inside a possessed doll. Surely you want to be
use that to your advantage, right?
You want to be discreet and as quiet as possible, right?
You would have thought so, right?
Rather than trying to murder a police officer while he's driving.
But my question is as well in this scene, coming back to earlier on with the whole sending Magaggy like 20 feet across the room. Where does a doll get this much strength?
Human power.
So is it actually... So are we now saying that your strength lies within your soul, not within your muscles?
Possibly.
So does that mean that I could do soul bodybuilding and get in really good shape?
I mean, if you believe in yourself that much, then yes, anything can be achieved.
But
you know?
we had this. I had this comment during Megan, and I was like, okay, actually, yeah, robot is different than doll. Robot's got pneumatics and
Megan was made of titanium, right?
Yeah.
She's strong.
Yeah, she was bulletproof. But yeah, so a robot I understand, because robots, you know, even like you see like small robots that can lift a lot of weight because of, you know, hydraulics and stuff like that. But a doll is filled with stuffing. There is no...
Yeah, it's a strange one, you're right, yeah.
So
I imagine he's just...
I know you're supposed to believe, well...
I don't know.
He's imbued his soul in this thing, and that's what's given the doll the strength, and it can move around and stuff like that. I get that. I can disbelieve
I
that.
get people are...
Why is it so strong?
People are like scared of someone trying to murder them, but it's a doll.
That's
and
why
they can overpower it.
That's why I've always found Chucky to be not very scary at all. Like when I was a kid, like the idea of a doll like murdering me in my sleep, yeah, sure. But like, if I was like in a situation, a horror film situation, and like, I think I would probably choose Chucky to be my villain.
Yeah, I mean, there are situations where Chucky could kill you.
Yeah,
obviously,
but he's not smart enough to do those situations.
Yeah, I mean,
we've seen that before.
You know, when it's this like overt and, you know, in your face, Chucky should be like hiding behind corridors and corners and hiding in the dark, and then picking off people, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Rather than being out in the open and, you know, trying to kill people by strangling them in the car.
Yeah. I mean, I get
so
that
it can work. But
I get that he attacked when he wasn't expecting it.
From a strength standpoint,
yeah,
it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, he manages to overpower this fully grown adult man in this car scene.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's a doll, man. What are you struggling with?
But we do get the first hint that he's not fully a doll, though.
Yes.
From this scene. Because he gets shot.
He gets shot and he starts bleeding.
And yeah, it gets a wound and it starts bleeding. And he feels pain.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell? What's going on?
So he goes to see his...
And he runs off, yeah.
Yeah, but we know where he's going. He goes to see his voodoo doctor man.
Yep. John.
But it's a very boring name for a voodoo man, isn't it? John.
He's just a normal dude.
Yeah, I mean, we've got like, you know, like Charles Lee Ray, Magaggy, Sarandon, John.
I mean, Sarandon is your...
Shut up, man. You're ruining it for me.
His name is Mike Norris in this film. It's a very generic name.
Yeah, they're all generic names, I guess, then, yeah.
But yeah, he goes to his former voodoo instructor.
Who he was friends with in prison, which Sarandon also finds out, which is why Sarandon and Mum know this as well. And they're like, we have to get to him before Chucky does.
And obviously he wants an explanation as to why he's bleeding.
Yeah.
Why he feels
so
pain.
he goes to find it. And John is like shocked. He's like, what the... what have you done?
A talking doll. But as you would be, you know.
But he's like, this is an abomination.
Abomination, yeah. He doesn't approve.
Yeah, he's like, I will never help you. You're just... Oh, this is absolutely a vile use of my teachings.
He does give him the explanation as to why this is happening before he starts doing what he does.
He's turning human.
Yeah, the longer his soul remains in the doll, the more human he becomes.
Yeah.
And then Chucky...
like, I'm going to stay like this.
And then Chucky wants to know how to get himself out of this mess.
Reverse this curse.
And this is where John has the trouble, what's the word? The objection towards this happening.
Yeah, he's like, I'm never going to tell you.
And he goes, well, I thought you'd say something like that.
You know, I thought something like this might happen. That's why I prepared for it.
What are you talking about?
Your own personal mojo, Doc.
Give me that.
Sure. How do you want it? Broken leg?
Ah!
Now, how do I get out of this body?
No, I won't tell you.
Yeah?
Ah!
Tell me you died, John. Your choice.
No, I'll tell you. You had to transfer your soul out of the doll into that of the first human being you revealed your true self to.
You mean the first person I let in on the fact that I was really alive? I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. The first person I let in on my little secret was a 6-year-old kid. I'm gonna be 6 years old again. Well, John, it's been fun, but I gotta go. I have a date with a 6-year-old boy. And you have a date with death. So long, John.
And he brings out the voodoo doll.
The voodoo doll of John.
Of John. Like, why would you have a voodoo doll of yourself lying around? Bit risky, isn't it?
And then a very horrible scene starts to take. Oh my god! I know it's fake, but it made me feel like, oh god, no.
It's cool though.
Yeah, where Chucky just starts snapping limbs.
Yeah.
And John's legs like
Yes,
he's like, ah!
Yeah.
And he breaks his legs and breaks his arm.
Again, is there an explanation as to why he has a voodoo doll of himself?
No.
It's not very clever.
But then I'm questioning: did John make that, or did Chucky make that?
Good point. Yeah, possibly. Because he knows all the voodoo shit, so he'd know how to make a doll of somebody, right?
I wonder if in voodoo, like, there's a way to protect yourself against a voodoo doll.
Possibly.
Because you would have thought John would have done that if there was, right? Just in case. Like, you stupid doll, I've protected myself against this.
Yeah, but it's a cool scene in the film. So we do. He tortures him, and then he tells him.
Because I'm guessing he's like, I can't, this is a lot of pain. Yeah, all right, I'll tell you, please stop.
Yeah, he has to transfer he tells him he has to transfer his soul to the first person that he revealed himself to. Which is Andy. And then he goes, I don't know if he kills him first, but he says, I've got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Phrasing. And then he stabs John, kills him.
Much like working
he doesn't
on
kill him
her
originally.
fingering.
He stabs John.
He stabs the voodoo doll,
He stabs John and...
is it John or the voodoo doll?
Oh, yeah, the voodoo doll. Yeah,
he stabs the voodoo doll,
sorry,
doesn't he?
you know. And then Sarandon and...
I love that that's called.
Sarandon and Karen Barkley. It's not quite.
I just call her Mum.
The mum run in, and
blood everywhere.
Blood everywhere. He's a mess.
John's
still alive, but he's barely holding on.
Barely.
But he does manage to get out
all of the important
information, which is strange for a film because it's usually like they don't get the information out before they die.
I think it either goes one of two ways. It's either like you have to.
Have to what? No! Please, you gotta tell me.
Or it goes, you have to get to the reactor. Enter the passcode of 6316. Make sure you press the green button. Pump the primer 3 times.
You can die now.
No, I'm not done.
Oh.
Pump the primer 3 times. Then you need to go back upstairs, turn on the safety valve, and make sure that you override the system to manual. You got that?
I got that. Yeah, you can die now. Yeah, so he manages to get the important information, which is
where he's going. It's the kid.
Well, yeah, sort of. But that's true. But the other important information to kill Chucky, you need to stab him
in the heart.
Stab him through the heart.
Yeah,
and he dies.
Does he say something like he's dark? human heart or something like that. Or,
I don't know.
But you have to stab him through.
He dies and manages to get out all the information he needs to.
Yeah, all of the pertinent information is like, you got to save the kid as well. Which then Mum's like, well, there's only one kid in this entire film, so I know who it needs to be.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it is a safe assumption, you know, like, this was my kid's doll.
Yeah.
Now he's talking about a kid.
Not going to assume any other kids.
Yeah. So we cut to prison, where Andy is being held prisoner. Like I said, prison. That is not a room that you would put a child in, like, who's in any kind of turmoil, let alone psychological turmoil. Going to put you in a cold, dark, grey and white room with just metal furniture and basically prison. They put this kid in prison. It's like
this cute little child.
Yeah, and they put him in prison. And then he looks out the window and he sees Chucky climbing up the fire escape, and he's like, "Chucky's coming to get me! He's coming to get me!" And
good impression.
And thank you. And the prison warden is like, "Shut up, inmate! You sit down or I'll beat the shit out of you!" Basically, and then slams the door, the thing shut again, and he looks back out, and Chucky's running across the roof, and he's like, "Oh my god, I gotta get out of here!" And then, how does he get out? I can't remember how he gets out.
Does he get the keys?
He gets the keys, but I don't remember how.
Did he think he drops the keys in the cell when he's leaving or some shit? Of the warden that's in charge? I don't know. Maybe he drops the keys.
Chucky gets into the room first, doesn't he?
Yeah. No.
Does someone come in to break it up, or like see what all the ruckus is?
I think he gets the keys out before Chucky gets in the room and gets out of the room, because you see the shot of him outside the room, opening, close the door as Chucky comes in and standing on the bed, which is clearly a human being wearing a doll costume.
It's a little person wearing it.
It's so brief that you don't really notice it. There's a better shot later on.
I reckon it was Warwick Davies.
It could possibly have been, yeah.
When was Leprechaun?
Early 90s, so
yeah,
the same time.
I reckon it's probably Warwick Davies in this film. Possibly. We should have checked the credits, to be honest with you. Warwick, if it was you, let us know. But yeah, because I was thinking he did Leprechaun around this point as well, so he's not adverse to doing horror films, is he? So Leprutian, as my sister would call it.
Leprutian. I like that. Imagine it's called that in France, right?
Yeah, Leprutian. But yeah, so anyway, Andy gets out, and then there's like a chase through the prison,
through the psychiatric hospital,
and he gets into the infirmary of the prison.
And the doctor tries to.
He hides under the bed first, doesn't he? And then Andy's trying. The warden is trying to find him, isn't he? He's like, "Andy, what are you doing?"
He's trying to help him.
Yeah.
This troubled soul.
And yeah, he pulls him out from under the bed and he's like, "Andy, calm down, everything's fine, it's all good, don't worry about it." And the kid's like, "Oh, he's gonna kill her, he's like, "Fine, shut up, stupid bitch." And then Chucky comes and stabs him in the back of the leg, right? With the scalpel.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Stabs him with the scalpel.
And he's like, "Ah!" like that, and then
he puts the crown on his head or whatever it is, the electroshock therapy,
electric convulsion therapy, isn't it? Yeah. Which I asked you, were they still doing in the late 80s?
I assume so.
That feels like something that was like finished in like the 60s or something, that we realised actually, electrocuting people's brains doesn't really do a lot. So
I don't know. I'm sure it still goes on nowadays.
Not in civilized countries, it does. Oh, okay, yeah. You're talking about like Guantanamo Bay car battery shit, aren't you? You're not talking about actual medical procedures.
No. Yeah, I'm talking like secret government.
I'm sure they still do lobotomies as well in that instance, but we don't do them in hospitals anymore. In fact, there's no such thing as a psychiatric hospital anymore.
These views are not my views, by the way. This is stuff I heard.
From the crack guy in the alley.
If everyone's listening that, I don't want to be.
I'm sure the NSA is paying great attention to Terrifying Tom. That's where they get all their best information. Everyone should be. Tell your friends. And then So Andy gets away, and Chucky's killing the warden with the electric convulsion therapy.
Gets away and starts to run home.
Yeah, he starts to run
and
home.
Gets home.
And then Sarandon and Mum turn up at the hospital, and mustachioed police officer guy's there, isn't he? And he's like, "There's been another murder."
Sarandon's friend.
Sarandon's friend has been like, "There's another murder with the kid involved," and Sarandon's like, "It's not the kid, I promise you." And then they're like, "Whatever, you crazy fuck." And then they're like, "Where's he gonna go? Where's Andy gonna go?" And Mum's like, "I've always taught him if he's in trouble to go home." So they're like, "Let's go." Yep. So we head home for the final showdown.
And then we get the shot of the elevator, which I really like.
Look, George, some child left their doll in the elevator.
Now leave it alone. Whoever left it there will come back looking for it.
Ugly doll.
Fuck you.
Oh, with the door just closing.
Chucky goes up. Does he go up? Is this the one where he goes up with the old couple?
Yeah, and he's in there.
And they're like, stupid doll or something.
Ugly doll.
Ugly doll.
Bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. And then you see him getting out the escalator with a silhouette.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool scene. The shot of him getting out the escalator with a silhouette above. You see him creeping up, towards towards Andy's. And then obviously he gets in, doesn't he? Is Andy hiding in the closet or something?
He's hiding in the closet, yeah.
Like Halloween style, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I can't remember how Chucky finds him, but he finds him and then tries to start possessing him. And then we see...
Well, he eventually overpowers him, knocks him unconscious, doesn't he?
He knocks Andy unconscious.
Yeah, he knocks Andy unconscious.
And he tries to possess
and then
him.
he's like doing the...
we see the clouds and the dark sky.
Actually, it's all French. Because it's voodoo, so it's Creole, but he's talking French.
We see this dark sky and the clouds sort of above.
The same thing that happened from the Toys Are Them earlier on in the beginning of the film.
Toys are all of us.
Toys are everyone. Yeah. So it's the same thing. So you know what's happening. The clouds are coming over, and you think we're just waiting for that lightning strike.
Yeah.
And then who should come in to save the day?
So Sarandon.
And
Mum.
They break it up, and it's the end. It's the end film brawl tussle.
Yeah.
Everything's going off. Everything's a struggle. Everyone's kicking off. Everyone's doing it.
Trying to defeat this doll which is dying.
But it's a doll.
It's been shot.
Yeah,
it's a doll.
It's wounded, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's a doll, and it's wounded. How is it this strong?
So I don't know if you got anything before this, but they try and trap him in the fireplace, don't they?
Well, he takes out Sarandon first, doesn't he?
Oh, right, yeah. He stabs him in the leg.
Stabs him in the leg again,
and then Sarandon just ends up being a little bitch for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I can't get up.
Possibly get up. Oh my god!
You deal with this.
No,
but yeah, anyway,
they try and trap him in the fireplace.
They try and trap him in the fire.
And he's like, Andy, weren't we supposed to be friends to the end? Or?
And then Andy's like, gives a really cool, ice cold 80s action style one-liner.
Andy, no, please. We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
Andy this kid is great. I love this kid in this film. He says, "This is the end." And lights the fire. Oh my god, Andy! That was
very Arnie-esque.
With dry, cool wit like that, you could be an action star.
Indeed. Unfortunately, he was wrong though in that statement. Because
yeah, it wasn't. It should have been. It should have been. That would have been a great place to end the film.
Everybody knows the killer always comes back for one last scare.
But that should have been the end. That one-liner was just I think it's perfection. Obviously, the problem is that you didn't kill his heart.
So
although you set his heart on fire.
So they think that he's dead.
Yeah. He's running around the house, setting it all on light, basically. He breaks out of the fire and he's like, ah!
Just pretty funny.
Like on fire. Do you think that was a little person as well? Or do you think that was animatronic? Because it moved like a human. I think that
there's a scene where he breaks out the fireplace.
Yeah, and he's running around the living room. It looks very human there, doesn't it? Yeah. So they set a little man on fire. They set a little person on fire and said, "Go, run."
Warwick Davis
got set on fire, and they told him to run around the living room. And we both said that it's all right. They'll probably still sleep there tonight, even if it's burnt down.
Yeah, as we learnt from this film.
Telling the firefighters to go home, please. It's bedtime. Then we learn. They watch him.
And then we learn that he's not actually dead.
Well, after they go back in to check on Sarandon, and they're like, "Oh, mate, are you all right? Do you want an ambulance or something?" He's like, "Oh, if you could, please." And then Sarandon's friend comes in, and yeah,
not yet.
Oh no, it's
we get the
gunshots, isn't it? Yeah,
we get the Chucky being the Terminator.
Yeah,
basically. This is the most Terminator-esque
scene with the hand
of the film, where you see him all burnt up and he's like slowly stalking towards Andy. Was it Mum?
Andy and Mum, and Mum's hiding Andy behind her, and she's got that big gun.
Terminator scene where he's slowly crawling towards Linda Hamilton and trying to kill her.
Yeah,
even though he's basically almost dead. And then I think he gets shot again.
Yeah. And sent like 50 feet across the room.
Yeah, it looks a bit silly. But he actually gets shot again, and they again think that this is it. But as we know...
That's when Sarandon's friend comes in, right?
That's when Sarandon's friend comes in.
And Sarandon's like, "No,
Jack.
It was the doll, I tell you."
And they're like, "Fuck, what? You're all
He's like, "Go check the doll, but don't touch it."
He grabs his head, doesn't he? And
and he's like, "Well, look at this thing. Well, what's wrong with this?" It's like, "I told you not to touch it." And then, like, he's up against the wall, and then Chucky's hand comes out of the vent and starts.
Yeah, he starts choking him. Yeah,
he's like, and the head's on the floor, like, "Kill him! Kill him!
And then,
kill him out!"
Kill him!
Kill him! Kill him! Kill him all!
The heart! Shoot him in the heart!
And then he shoots. I can't remember. Was it Jack that shoots Chucky through the heart, or is it Sarandon?
I don't think it would have been Jack. He was a nothing character. It was probably Sarandon.
Yeah, one of them.
But yeah, Chucky's head's on the floor, going, "Kill them all! The fucking bastards! Kill the shit! Fucking kill them all!" Ah! Just his head screaming, and then then Sarandon. Is it Sarandon or is it Mum again?
I can't remember who shoots Chucky, but he does the dramatic slow motion fall with just the body, and then falls down.
6 camera angles.
This is the end, we promise.
Yeah,
and you'll never see Chucky ever again.
Nope, never, ever.
The
again.
end.
Just before we wrap up, moving on to the rest of the stuff. That 3 endings. That was too much. I mean, I get that you always think the killer's dead, but they're not. They always come back for one more hurrah.
It's the Terminator.
I get that, but there weren't 3 endings in Terminator.
I can't remember. There's at least one false ending.
Yeah, with the where he's trying to crawl back through, and then she crushes it, doesn't she? Yeah,
I can't remember.
But there's not 3.
I can't remember. I mean, in 2, there's probably like at least 2.
But that's because the liquid metal thing, isn't it? The liquid nitrogen is the first one, isn't it? But
I was fine with it.
I didn't like 3. I thought it was too many. I thought it was just like I mean, like I said, I think it should have ended with that one-liner. That was that was perfect. That one-liner was brilliant. I mean, how else does it end? You know, him having a seizure on the floor, like, get out! Sarandon being like, oh, my leg. Oh, I have to fucking just
Yeah,
stop.
I hope Sarandon was okay after that, getting stabbed
Yeah,
in
he
the leg.
started banging mum, didn't he? So,
Well,
the sexual tension
I
was
don't know.
palpable.
She probably was put off by his little bitch status when he was like selling the leg injury.
It's cock blocking as well. Can't believe you stopped me from having sex with that crack addict. Yeah, I didn't like the 3 personally. That was just my personal preference. So, wrapping up, Tom, what did you make of the film?
I like the film very much. So as people will know, I wasn't a horror film watcher when I was a kid. My memories of Chucky were him as like a comedic sort of.
The later films.
Yeah. But I remember people being into them a lot and being, oh, these films are so good, they're so funny.
I remember The Bride of Chucky, everyone loved it.
And I remember thinking, being really not into it or anything like that. And so I was a bit. Seeing, I got this film on a Blu-ray, it was like one of those like 3 for $20 deals or something shit like that.
Yeah. HMV.
And yeah, it's part of a deal, so I thought I'll give it a shot, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a really good slow build film. And I can see why it became so popular in the first place.
I think it tries to take itself a little bit more seriously than Megan did. I don't know if you got that vibe or not.
Yeah, but obviously there are elements where it's a bit. Oh, this is a bit silly.
Yeah, of course, because it is a doll.
But it is supposed to be. It's supposed to be at its heart. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be scared of this doll, like you would be scared of Michael Myers. Or
I mean, he's held up there as one of the actual, like the top horror film villains, isn't it? Yeah, horror icon. Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, I felt like this wasn't. It didn't know that it was gonna be cheesy and campy and tried to play into that. It still felt like it was trying to be a serious thing.
But you know, when I've watched this for the first time, it was really good. I like the sequel as well. I like the remake that came out.
I haven't seen the remake
recently,
yet. That's the one with
Aubrey Plaza,
Mark Hamill, right?
And Mark Hamill as Chucky. I haven't actually seen like those 90s films.
I haven't seen
3, and then whatever the ones with when he's got the other doll. The woman,
the Bride of Chucky.
I haven't seen those in 4.
And then there's one where they have a kid as well, isn't there? So
yeah, I haven't seen any of those.
I haven't seen any.
I've seen the later ones, the ones that came out in the last 10 years.
This is the only Child's Play film I've seen.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What, ever?
Ever. I've never seen any of the other ones.
The second one was on Netflix a while ago, so I watched that. That was pretty good. I would recommend the second one.
So I remember saying to you that the last time I watched this film was like mid-90s, something like 95, 96, something like that. Yeah. I didn't, like I said, my parents were never very strict with horror films when I was younger. I mean, I would have been, 96? I would have been 12, 13? 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my parents were never...
12 was 96.
My parents were never particularly strict. Like I said, the only one that we'll probably end up covering on this show at some point, because I still haven't seen to this day, the only film that my dad was like, no, you can't watch that, is Hellraiser.
Yeah.
That's it. So everything else was like,
Still never seen that, no.
Still never seen it. To this day, I've still never seen a Hellraiser film. Not because I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. It's just
I've only seen that one, and that's it. I haven't seen any of the others.
Never seen it anywhere. It's not really a film that you...
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean...
As we discussed on our Halloween-themed Bibble, I would... Chucky, I would probably make a good Chucky if I dressed up as it for Halloween, because I'm pretty small. I'm like 5'5" or whatever. So I probably, if I had a good costume, it would be Chucky for a horror villain.
And I'll dress up as Sarandon.
Sarandon, yeah.
And
do some
everyone,
great wooden acting.
That will sell the thing there. Everyone will know.
No one will know who Sarandon is. Even if you have a
they'll come up to me and they'll be like, oh my God, you're Sarandon from Child's Play. Who are you?
Raggedy Ann?
Yeah, Raggedy Ann.
Oh, you're Annie from the film.
Yeah, little Annie.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's my history with Child's Play, basically.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not going to ask you for your scores just yet, because that's what we usually end on. Cost. How much do you think this cost? 1989. How much do you reckon?
Going to say around 20 to 30 million.
Wow.
I'm guessing it's nowhere near that.
Nowhere near that. Yeah, that's remember this is 80s money. $9 million it cost to make, and made $44.2 million worldwide. So a smash hit.
Yeah.
Made them a ton of money, which is why they made a ton of sequels.
Yeah, again, we say this after every fucking film we do. Horror movies are cheap, and they turn a profit. And I'm sure we will keep saying this on every review.
Yeah, we've come across one film that was a bit of a dud, didn't we? I can't remember what it was. It hasn't been on yet.
Okay. Yeah, Charles Play was obviously a smash hit. Loads of sequels, so you can see why. It's a good film, I think. So, you know.
Yeah.
And it created a horror icon as well, you know.
Even
if you've never seen the
you know
films,
who Chucky is.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure, yeah.
Even if you've never seen one
even
film.
if you only know him as, is that Killer Doll? Yeah. Like, everyone knows who Chucky is.
Frosty the Clown. That's that Killer Doll, right?
Yeah. It contains potassium benzoate. It's ranked 100.
That's bad.
It's ranked 133rd on the IMDb all-time horror movies list.
Yeah, okay. So, we watched it for the purposes of watching Megan.
Yeah.
Because it's not on the top 100.
But we're not doing top 100 anyway. It's actually top 200 is the list.
That's fine. But yeah, that's way too low. That should be
what
higher.
I thought as well, considering some of the films.
It's a top 50, maybe even top 30.
For iconic reasons, primarily alone, it should be higher.
That's really shocking.
It has a score of 6.6 out of 10, and 64% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes as of the 6th of February 2023. So, do you agree?
I reckon it should be a little bit higher.
So where would you...
I get the premise is silly, and I get some of the acting is dreadful, but it's an enjoyable watch.
I didn't ever feel at any point like, oh God, I'm so bored.
No.
Even if you don't rate it as a particularly scary horror film, which it's not, it's entertaining.
Oh yeah,
there is entertainment to be had in this film for sure.
Never dull.
No, not at any point was I like, oh, get on with it. I was. So where would you put it in your top 200?
Again, it's very difficult to tell because I don't have a list of in front of me. But yeah, as I said before, I reckon it should be around like top 30.
Top 30
of all time.
Okay. What would you give it out of 10?
8.
8, solid score. So would you recommend this to people
Absolutely,
to watch them?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, if it's one of those where you thought it's a bit silly or whatever, the same situation as myself, you don't take the Chucky film seriously, I'd at least watch this one.
Any changes that you would make to the film to make it a better horror film or better in general?
Better acting from Sarandon.
Sarandon.
Yeah, well, you could find a better actor than Sarandon, if possible. I think Andy is fine. He's one of the best child actors I've
I thought Andy was great. I loved Andy.
One of the best child actors I've seen in a film ever.
Not at any point did I feel like this kid was acting. It felt really natural. He didn't sound like... some kids, they're like... Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars, for instance, very aware that he's acting. But what do you mean about midi-chlorians? Not at any point did I feel like he was like that. You generally felt disappointed when he didn't get his present. It was like, oh, it's okay. I just really wanted
I think casting-wise, other than that, Mum's fine.
Do you think the budget plays a lot into that, though? Maybe you don't pay a lot. You get what you pay for.
Oh, I mean, there's no star in this film, is there?
No.
They're all unknowns.
I'm guessing a lot of it is...
still are, probably.
Animatronics, probably. Where a lot of this went into like visual effects, I imagine. For this film.
Definitely, yeah.
It takes a lot of money to set Warwick Davis on fire.
If it was him, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And obviously a slam dunk on Chucky and the voice of Chucky as a whole, really, because he would continue on as the voice of Chucky until
the remakes, basically.
So much so until his daughter starred in the late films.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice little family continuation.
There you go.
I didn't know
she's
that.
the main character in
That's a nice
the
little
later
touch.
ones that were released before.
I'm assuming
the remake.
he's passed away.
I don't think so.
Oh,
he's
you would
still,
have thought
still
maybe
going. He's still voicing Chucky.
Is he? Mark Hamill is, I thought.
Well, for the remake it was, yeah. But
Right.
not for the last ones that came out before the remake.
Right, okay, yeah. Right, that's what I meant, yeah. I thought maybe because they've recast him, I thought that maybe he'd passed away.
I don't think so.
Or maybe
I'd have
just-
to Google it, but no.
Maybe they just wanted to steer clear from. So yeah, casting, anything else?
I mean, McGaggy's death is a bit ridiculous. If they maybe had explained that he has the strength of a human being or something like that.
I think you're supposed to just jump to that assumption anyway, aren't you? But they don't really explain how.
No. But these are small little horror critiques, really.
Because the main thing that I find funny about like the whole "he's as strong as a man" kind of thing is that he is still a doll because a 5-year-old child doesn't have trouble carrying him around. So
yeah, he uses his strength when he wants to.
Just like he can turn it on and off.
Yeah, it's a bit silly.
Yeah.
But if you turn all your brain off or whatever, it's an enjoyable film, really.
So what I would do to make the film a bit scarier is something that you mentioned earlier, is make him more of an invisible threat. Like he's not so in your face and like, you stupid bitch, I'm going to kill you kind of thing.
Yeah.
More like, well, I'm sleeping and like, I mean, there might be a doll under my bed, I don't know. I don't check under my bed every night, kind of thing. So, yeah.
I can't remember the name of the film. It's going to bloody annoy me. It was on Netflix for a while. It's the first film of the 2010s, I think, when they rebooted the whole franchise.
Right.
And it had very much the same feel as this one. And it had the same lift as well that goes up.
Oh, right, okay. Same set.
Yeah. And
so they're still living in that apartment. Has the window been fixed?
It's not the same apartment. But yeah, you have obviously Brad Dourif's daughter as the main character in the film. It's very similar in the vein to this one of, it's dark. It's just dark for the whole film, and then you don't see Chucky much until the end, So I definitely recommend that one. If I knew what the name of the bloody film is, I can't remember. I will Google it at some point.
Is it not just Child's Play?
No. It's called something else. But I can't remember what it's
The
called.
Revenge of Chucky or something.
No, I don't know.
Okay, so last question, Tom.
Go on.
Did this film terrify you?
Not really.
Nah. Like I said, it's not at any point a great horror film. Entertaining as hell. It's very entertaining to watch. It's not really a great horror film.
It's a fun movie. It has like little moments, but it's not like one that I'm like, oh my god, I can't sleep tonight because Chucky might get me.
Yeah. Can't sleep.
Nothing like
Clown, leave me.
Yeah. Nothing like that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me again, Tom.
That's all right.
I hope that you join me again next time. Of course you will. He has to. He's the titular character. So it's not my show.
Unless you find another Tom.
I do know another Tom. But he's like me. He's not scared of anything. So it wouldn't be as entertaining. It would be both of us going, did it scare you? Nah, me neither. All right, cool. Cheers. Like with you, at least there's a chance that it might make you shit your pants.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Titular character Tom. I am Richard, just living in his world. And until next time, sleep tight.
This has been a Rich T Entertainment production. If you have enjoyed what you've seen, why not leave us a like and a comment? You can also check out some of our great podcasts. Just search for Rich T Entertainment wherever you listen to your podcasts, or click the link for our top pick. Thanks for watching.